Yo, what's good? It's your boy Big Bain in this thing. Hey, check this out before we jump into the awesomeness, right? Need y'all to check me out on all my social platforms. I'm pretty much on everything. Check me out on SoundCloud, Patreon, BeatStars, all the streaming services. My official website, forexwithbain.com. That's where you can join my Discord. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, all right? Let's get right into it. Keep trading. Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Bain Break It Down Forex. It's your boy Big Bain in this thing. You guys guessed another week, another opportunity for us to make some money in the Forex market. So let's get right to it. All right, boom, over to the dollar, guys. Yes, I'm bullish. All right, it is just a pullback to the overall downtrend that we're in. So we go to a higher time frame. You guys can see, man, like this is, pretty telling, if you will. Right, where we started pushing down, we didn't get, this was a new high. We consolidated for a long time, pushed up and made another high to sweep these highs, and then we just broke this low. So we're going to get a pullback, but then we should probably continue to fall on the dollar. So just as of right now, again, this is the pullback that we're looking at. All right, to say that the dollar is going to pretty much rise on that pullback. So I expect us to get from here all the way to the area that we broke previously to the left, or to this supply area, and then drop. So I'm bullish on the dollar. All right, going over to odd dollar, guys. I'm bearish on the odd dollar. Right, we got a nice bit of a trend line that is holding on to right now. All right, but once it breaks that, give us something like this. Give you guys a little visual. Right, we break that low right about here, come back and retest, and then we drop all the way down to the ground. All right, bearish on the odd dollar. All right, guys, over to euro dollar. All right, and euro dollar still is in the mix. All right, it looks like it can go, or it looks like it can rise, as well as it looks like it can fall a little bit. Right, so I'm seeing right here we just had a break of a low right in this area. All right, so because of that, this is a bit of a supply area here, if you will. All right, and what can happen is we can go ahead and retest into that supply area, sweeping this engineered liquidity, and then we'll fall down possibly to the area that we broke, right, and bounce up and maybe still fall from there. All right, so I'm gonna go with bearish, right, just because we broke a low, and that indicates that price typically wants to continue going lower. Right, so this is a good position right now, guys. If you're somebody who trades EU, or you're looking for a trade on EU, for you to get into a short position here with your stop right behind supply, that's 94 pips. So technically you don't want to get it where it's here, right? You want to kind of come back to the supply area, and now you have a lower risk as well as a greater reward. All right, so 36 pips on the stop loss for 225 pips right here to fill this imbalance at this demand area that eventually broke this high. All right, so that's a good position. On EU, again, 36 pips for 315 to the downside, guys. Bearish on EU. Over to pound dollar. All right, everybody get down with pound, and right now it looks like it's going to do just that, right? Go down. All right, so again, breaking these lows right around here in this area. All right, so again, just a tiny break, and then our supply area is somewhere up in here, so we'll probably push a little bit higher, and then we'll drop. But again, kind of the same MO that EU has. All right, so bearish on pound dollar. All right, over to New Zealand dollar, right, the stepchild of the group, right? And again, we got the same exact thing, except this one doesn't look as clean of a break as GU and EU, but it still did break the low. So I'm expecting it to get up into this area of supply right around here. Okay, and once it gets to about there, once again, I'm expecting a major drop. All right, guys, so you can get away with a short position right here on NU. All right, and this is for 35 pips on a stop loss, and all you got to do is aim for 1 or 2. So we're doing more there, and there it is, right to the area that we previously broke. That'll get you almost 100 pips, guys. That's an easy position to take on this pair. All right, don't sleep on the beat. All right, guys, giving y'all the alley hoops. Y'all just got to dunk it. All right, here we go. All right, so dollar CAD, and you can see that we've also broken, you know, this little bit of a downtrend line right about here. All right, and we got a nice break of this potential high right here, so that gave us a nice change of character. We were going lower lows, lower highs, all here until we just broke above these highs, making a new high. So do expect some sort of pullback, all right, to this area, right, right here to this demand, okay, that broke this high, right? So we're going to pull back to there, and then we're going to rise up pretty significantly. All right, it may not happen right away, it may happen later, right? So this may take off and never really pull back before it takes off, but ultimately we should be going up on the dollar CAD. So I'm bullish on the dollar CAD. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on and let's see what we got. Hold on. All right, boom, got that. Dollar CAD, I'm bullish. All right, dollar CHF, I'm also bullish. You guys can see it looks just like the dollar, right? And it's the one that obviously mimics it the most, right? But because we got this engineered liquidity here that hasn't been swept, I'm kind of concerned about that. I feel like we're going to go and get that, and then we're going to turn up after that. So it's very wearisome, if you will, right, at the moment. But overall bullish on the dollar CHF. All right, over to dollar JPY, and it's looking pretty good. We broke this low, made this new low. All of this is the pullback, and it's still looking strong in uptrend structure. So I wouldn't you know, be surprised if we kept rising on the dollar JPY. There is a little bit of imbalance to fill here, right, because we barely just broke above this previous high, but you know, it's still an uptrend structure, which is what I'm really going off of. So again, we can look at this as the run, the pullback, the run, the pullback, the run. So we may get a little bit of a pullback, dropping down right into this demand area before rising up. All right, guys, so you know, just kind of pay attention or watch out for that, right? You would rather buy low than buy high. That's what that's all about, right? So you know, who knows if it's really going to get filled, right, this imbalance, or that demand area get touched, right? We may be respecting this demand area here and then just continue to rise, right? But ultimately I do see the dollar JPY rising over, you know, the week, right? Right out the gate it'll probably drop, right? But bullish on dollar JPY. All right, over to pound odd, and here this is a little tricky. All right, so we broke this high, made the new high, pulled all the way back down to this demand area, and now we're starting to rise up. So it should have continued to fall, and I think it's still going to do that, right? So I'm going to be a betting man towards looking for a sell on pound odd. All right, see a little bit of a rising channel right about here, just like that. All right, so with that, guys, that is a bearish reversal pattern. All right, so what I'm going to expect to happen is price to kind of push up to this high area right around here, and then I'm going to expect it to drop, right? So if you guys see that, we're talking about roughly, you know, from this high point on the channel to this swing low, that's 571 pips, guys, right? So you can set yourself a nice sell limit order at that area, put your stop above these highs, put your take profit down to the low, guys, and you have yourself a 1 to almost 3, risking 190 pips for 540. All right, if you take out a micro lot, guys, this is only about 20 bucks, right, for about 54 bucks, right? So just know that. All right, but it helps you take advantage of a major setup that can give you a lot of pips. All right, so pound odd bearish. Right, moving over to pound CAD, and it's very mixy right now. I can't really determine because it should go higher, right? And it did do its pullback down to mitigate this imbalance here, tapped right into that demand, and then took off. But now it's kind of seeming a little consolidated, right? And I'm not sure, really not sure if it's going to keep rising, but it should keep rising. But if I had to choose, I would say bullish, all right, but it's very hard, all right, because there's some liquidity here that we did not sweep, and there's even more that was engineered here now on the pullback. So it's just tricky, guys. I can't really say for sure, but if I had to go, I'll go with bullish. All right, bullish on dollar CAD. All right, dollar Swiss franc, and again, you guys can see the drop, and now we're pulling back. So I do expect it to go and fill this imbalance right before it drops and takes out this low. So for now, I'm going to go bullish, potentially with stops behind this low, right, even though we didn't fill this imbalance, but bullish to go and get everything that's up here and then potentially turn around from this supply area. All right, so bullish on pound CHF. All right, pound JPY. All right, so we were bearish on it, but it was because we're in the supply area. But it looks like with the hammer candle that we just formed, we may push up a little higher before getting that drop. So just being mindful of that, guys. We might lose this GJ trade, possibly. All right, so even though we did get into a sell on it, I can see it again rising a bit. Hopefully it just doesn't take us out with our stop and it turns around and drops before that, but right now it's definitely looking pretty bullish. All right, over to New Zealand, pound New Zealand, and we broke this low here. We made this new low, so now we're on the phase of the pullback, except that when we made this new high and then we made this equal low, we're kind of not getting above this high just yet, but I think we might and have a deeper pullback, even though there's no imbalance and no liquidity. So then that means we could drop and start breaking these lows. All right, so this pound New Zealand is a bit of a tricky one, but because it did a nice rise up for the past 3 days, right, and it did not really close above the wick of this day, right, that Friday candle, we're starting to get rejection. I'm gonna go with bearish on the pound New Zealand. All right, so getting into a sell from somewhere on this high and then taking it down to this low, we're looking at potentially 450 pips out of that, guys. That's not bad. All right, not bad at all. Pound New Zealand bearish. All right, oil. So you guys can see my team is in a buy on oil, so that's pretty straightforward. I'm bullish on oil. All right, over to silver. All right, guys, I'm bearish on silver, even though I can kind of see it creeping up a little bit, possibly to the entry point of where we got in. But then from there, we're definitely going to have a nice drop on silver. It's definitely tapped into the supply area already, so it has enough to continue making its way down, but it's just been taking forever, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, really. So almost 2 weeks now. It's just been consolidating, right? A little down, little up, little down, little up. We need it to crash, right? We need it to fall. I think it will do that this week. So again, still bearish on silver, guys. All right, America's favorite, gold, right? Consolidated like crazy. Bit of a morning star here, right? Breaking above these highs, making a new high and pulling back. So I cannot lie to you guys. Gold looks super bullish, guys. And again, you don't always want to go with the correlation with the dollar, right? So if the dollar's rising, typically that means gold is going to fall. All right, but in this scenario, right, I'm looking at the charts, and the charts are telling me, hey, gold is breaking highs, making new highs, pulling back, giving a bullish candlestick pattern, breaking more highs, making new highs, right, pulling back, and most likely will tap into demand before rising. So saying a mouthful just to say I'm bullish on gold. All right, guys, so a good opportunity from the demand area right up to the high, and that'll give you 228 points to the upside. That's 2,280 pips. All right, over to what is this? Gas, right? Natural gas. So again, you guys watched my watch list from last week. I told you guys I was buying it from the low. It's exactly what I did, and I'm up big time on natural gas. So still bullish, expected to get to these highs, possibly to my take profit, but definitely bullish on gas. All right, SPY, right, we've pulled back, right, and I told everybody to buy from the low. If you guys did, you made your money. Now we're going to turn around and sell it to the low, right? We bought from the low before, but now it pushed up and went high, and now from the high we're going to sell it to the low. How beautiful, right? Take advantage of both sides. Okay, but definitely looking for this to drop this week. These are my go-to plays. The indices are really all I'm focused on because they're going to pay out tremendously when they actually begin to fall. All right, and they're at the cusp right now of doing just that. All right, so don't miss out, guys. There's going to be once price breaks below this low, you can pretty much kiss the baby goodnight for SPY tanking. All right, bearish on SPY. All right, over to NAS, and again, same exact thing, guys. We got over 3,000 points on the table. All right, on NAS, this is almost 4,000 points. I don't want you guys to miss out on this. All right, yes, it may push up a little bit, take out this high and then drop, maybe even over to this high and then drop, but eventually we will get this drop, guys. So be on the lookout for that. All you got to do is set you some sell stops below these lows, and as it drops, you will be a part of that drop, and you'll be able to finally say, hey man, I made some crazy money trading the indices. All right, if that's you, right, if you want that to be you, I highly suggest you heed my advice on this one. Right, we have bearish divergence on it, and the RSI is showing us the lows are getting lower on the RSI, but the highs are getting lower, but on the chart the highs are getting higher. So it's already telling us we're getting ready for a drop, guys. So don't be the one to miss out. All right, I'm giving you guys the alley hoop. Can somebody please LeBron James dunk it? All right, here we go. Last but not least, US 30, same exact thing as SPY and NAS, guys. We got in from the low, price did its dance, right, all the way up to the top. Yes, it may still push up a little bit more to these particular highs, right, but if it does that, it's definitely going to give us a drop after that. All right, but if it doesn't do that, then we're most likely going to get the drop right now. So just be on the lookout for that. And we had over 3,000 points on the table for NAS. With US 30, we're talking 4,000, 5,000 points, guys. This is how you get paid. All right, this is how you make a change in your Forex trading. All right, and if you guys really want to get down, make sure to check me out, forexwithbain.com. Come and join the Discord. I promise you, all right, you will not regret making that decision. All right, and it's about that time, right? A lot is going on. A lot of people losing their jobs, right? If you guys follow the economic stuff, people getting deported, right? Tariffs, messing up the supply chain, things getting more expensive, you name it, right? So if you need to get something in your back pocket because you feeling the pressure, you feeling the heat, you might want to come check me out. All right, because I'll change some things around for you, and I mean for the better. All right, but in the meantime, in between time, y'all know what it is. It's your boy. Peace. Want to get money? Want to get paid? That's Forex. Like a sensei, then you know you got to come and swing my way. And if you want to fast forward, hit replay.